What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Jake Shavink here, and today we are talking about a topic that always has the attention of NFL fans, scouts, and analysts alike. It's the wide receiver position, and more specifically, who is the top wide receiver in the 2021 NFL Draft. Now, again, a lot of people have made different claims, and a lot of people are staking their claim on the top guy. But I think a lot of people have put the top four really into the same tier. Most people, anyway, have done so. Obviously, we're talking about Devonta Smith, Jaylen Waddle, JaMarr Chase, and Rashod Bateman. Mostly the consensus top four when you talk to, again, most people in the industry. So ultimately, who is wide receiver one? Well, obviously, people want the simple answer and people want it to be correct all the time. And obviously, myself and others, we miss plenty of the time. So again, you can't take what we say as complete gospel, but I think there's an argument to be made for all four of these players. And today we're going to dive into really how you can view each of these guys as wide receiver one, what traits make each of these guys wide receiver one in the class. And yeah, again, the answer to that question, what is it? It's not simple. Ultimately, it's going to come down to what you, as a fan or as an analyst, as a scout, prefer. What type of receiver do you prefer most? So let's look at each of the four and talk about what they do best and why they could be wide receiver one in this class. So first off, if you want the elite separator with all of the tools, it's Devonta Smith. And we're going to talk about that really quick, why he is that. So again, Devonta Smith obviously won the Heisman, had an uber productive season in 2020, even led the Crimson Tide in production in 2019, when, of course, Waddle, Henry Ruggs, and Jerry Jeudy were there. So why'd he do that? Why was he the best receiver? Well, it's a combination of things. Really, it starts out with his rare creation of initial separation. His ability to create that initial separation, his release game, to get leverage, to gain an advantage right off the bat, off the line of scrimmage, is special. Maybe in 2020 you didn't see that as much because Sarkisian loved to use him after the catch, but go back to 2019, you see him separate immediately against top corners in the SEC. Again, it's very simple with him. It's a jab step. It's an ability to evade contact near the line of scrimmage. And again, he's a guy who can win at all three levels. His ability in and out of breaks is special. At the top of routes, he's a special player. He's got that going for him as an elite route runner, an elite separator. Starts at the line of scrimmage, can go through the top of his routes, can win at every level. Has excellent body control and hands. He plays bigger than his size. Great hands, plucker of the football. It's a great job going up and getting the football, adjusting to it in the air, going up and making plays, good body control near the sideline, body control in the end zone, to get his feet down, to secure the catch with, again, a small frame. He plays bigger than his size. And again, obviously the frame is concerning for people. And truthfully, as a scout, if you were being paid the big bucks and your job was on the line, would you take him? Would he be your wide receiver one? That's obviously a question. But again, what you see from him on the field is special. Again, he's great catching through contact. He's a route technician, as we talked about. He's nuanced. He has that nuance in his game. And again, he also has long strides. He's a long strider. He may not be the fastest player out there, but his play speed is better than you would think. He can win vertically down the field with those long strides. He has good hand swipes. He's a technician to stack defenders. He's really good at it. And he has the long strides to maybe take defenders by surprise after the catch. He can get downhill in a hurry, and he can get up to speed. He's got good build-up speed. So if you want all the tools and an elite separator at the wide receiver position, then maybe Devonta Smith is your wide receiver one. Now, what about if you want speed and acceleration, a true deep threat? Then it's Jaylen Waddle for sure. Why? He's got the field tilting speed that can change the game in an instant. His speed, his ability to get by defenders, eat up cushion and off coverage. He's a vertical threat through and through. Okay, that elite speed is a game changer, and we see it with a lot of people coming out of college. Obviously, John Ross is one maybe that a lot of people will remember. Even Henry Ruggs last year. So what makes Waddle different in that category? I think it's his burst and acceleration. I think, again, he gets up to speed really quickly as a vertical threat, but when he can win underneath, because he's efficient and quick in and out of breaks, but again, he's got that explosion out of his breaks, that acceleration, that burst to create more separation. And when he has the ball in his hands, the burst and acceleration is deadly for defenses because he stresses them so much. He is an angle destroyer. Once the ball's in his hands, you better be sinking down the field because he is going to beat you to the corner. He's going to beat you to the end zone. That speed, that acceleration he's not messing around. Again, we talked about it, elite deep threat. He can win down the field very easily with his speed. And he has good ball skills. He adjusts to the football well. He tracks the football well. He high points it at an exceedingly good level down the field and catches it through contact. Impressive stuff. And again, that maybe what separates him from other deep threats is his ability to be strong through the point of contact and go get the football in the air and not be afraid of contact. Talked about it. Elite run after catch ability, and he's quick and efficient out of breaks. If speed and acceleration is your thing, then Jaylen Waddle is your wide receiver 1. Now, what about a traditional X type of receiver and route technician? Well, obviously, we've talked about Devonta Smith, but he's maybe not a traditional X receiver because a traditional X receiver has size, who maybe is the first read a lot of the time. Rashod Bateman maybe is your guy. And I know a lot of the fantasy football community and the dynasty community love Bateman because of how well he did at a young age. Again, breakout age, you can talk about it, you can debate it. Really what it comes down to is being good early on in college. Bateman was good early on in college. Why? Well, let's talk about it. He's got an elite release game. He does a good job with attacking and slipping. He does a good job with a squirt release. He's good with foot fire. He's good with a 2-step, a 1-step release. He has the complete package as a release game to create that initial separation, kind of like Devonta Smith, except really Bateman has a bigger toolbox in that area. He's a maestro with the slant route as well. He can win on the slant in his sleep, really, truthfully. And again, the slant route, one of the most important in a West Coast offense. He can win on that. He can do a lot of things for you. He's a good route salesman. Top of his routes, impressive stuff. He's crisp. He gets through contact well. And he's a good route salesman. He sells everything with his head, his shoulders, his core. And he's good at double moves. He's crisp in and out of that double move break. And he does a good job selling that initial route to create separation. And he has, burst and speed. When he's working vertically down the field, he can eat up cushion. And his run after catch ability. It's more linear speed with him than it is making defenders miss in space, but he has that ability to run after the catch and turn quick passes into big plays. He also can win in contested spots and has a big catch radius. Obviously, at his weigh-in at his pro day, he was a little bit smaller than most expected, so that's something to monitor when looking at his contested catch game and his catch radius and how he wins in that area, but ultimately, you're getting a traditional X type of player with him, and if you like that, if you like route technicians who can also win at the catch point effectively, then maybe Rashod Bateman is your guy. Finally, how about a well-rounded alpha who can make plays at every level of the field? Well, then it's JaMarr Chase for you, right? Again, he's physical. His competitive toughness is off the charts. No fear against press coverage. He has no fear of contact at any level of the field. And he will beat you in that area. Almost reminds a lot of us of an A.J. Brown type of player who is just tough to bring down after the catch and is tough to handle at the line of scrimmage. He's got great run after catch ability. Again, he can get up to speed quickly. He breaks tackles after the catch. And again, he's a well-rounded athlete where he can make plays in a variety of areas. When you talk about his quick game separation skills, he can win on that slant route quickly because he's a dynamic player pre-catch and post-catch. Obviously, we talked about the competitive toughness. That comes into play when you talk about how he thrives in contested spots. He is a dynamo in contested spots. He's a great job skying above defenders. Great plucker of the football. Strong hands, strong arms. You're not breaking that ball loose when the ball's in his hands. He does a good job stacking defenders too with that physical play that he has. Good job in that area. So he can win at every level of the field and is probably still being underrated in this wide receiver class because a lot of people have him as wide receiver 1, but have slowly backed off of that in favor of obviously the Alabama guys and more recently Rashod Bateman. But still, Chase is maybe a victim of recency bias a little bit because he didn't play in 2020, right? But again, he's a 3-level threat. He's an X. He's an alpha player. He can win in so many ways for you. So if you like that type of player, then maybe JaMarr Chase is wide receiver 1. So in conclusion, it ultimately depends what you as a team and a fan of your team prefer at the wide receiver position. And really, if you're scouting players and you do a lot of that work as an analyst, ultimately you have a favorite type at the wide receiver position. So if you like that deep threat, you like the acceleration, you like, game-changing ability, then obviously it's Waddle. Traditional X, maybe well-rounded player. JaMarr Chase, maybe more of a route technician. You look at Bateman. If you want a guy who's got all the tools and is an elite separator, does everything well, and you're not concerned about the frame, then it's Devonta Smith. So in conclusion, obviously, it depends when it comes to a wide receiver 1 in a class. And so maybe, should I tell you who my wide receiver 1 is? Actually, not yet. That's coming later in the wide receiver rankings. Going to be a lot of them. Top 40. We're going to have a 4-day countdown of that. So be excited for that. But I hope you enjoyed this video and really helps you understand, when it comes to the wide receiver position, it's ultimately what you are looking for as a fan, what a team is looking for in their offense, and what you as an analyst prefer in your wide receivers. So it's not simple, but I'm sure everybody's got a wide receiver 1 out there. And if you want to share who that is, drop it in the comments. Let's talk about who wide receiver 1 is in this class. Always down for conversing with viewers in the comments section. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, maybe throw a subscribe down there if you're new. Got a lot more coming for you guys before the draft, so be excited for that. I will see you guys very soon. Farewell.